Coming up, feeling a little anxious or nervous about going back to school?
Coronavirus makes me feel nervous because I don't know what's gonna happen.
We'll get some expert advice on what you can do to feel better. Also ahead, students in New Jersey are remembering an important day in our nation's history. We'll explain. Plus, this 11-year-old is sweetening things up in Texas. His inspiring story just ahead.
This is NBC Nightly News, Kids Edition.
Welcome back to Nightly News Kids Edition. It's great to be with you. We've got a great lineup, including details on this special puppy adoption in Michigan. You can never lose with puppies. And a bit later on, you're in for a treat. We'll introduce you to this 11-year-old boy who is following in his family's footsteps. But first, as kids across the country head back to school, we know a lot of you may be nervous or feeling somewhat anxious about going back into a classroom. That's okay. Us adults have many of those same feelings. Here now to talk more about it is our friend Dr. Torres. He can tell you what to do to feel better.
I'm worried about the coronavirus and when it's safe to go back to school. I really miss my friends.
Coronavirus makes me feel nervous because I don't know what's gonna happen.
I'm nervous to go back to school because of COVID-19. Do you think it's safe?
Many kids are nervous and maybe even scared to go back to school, and that is totally normal.
Anxiety is normal. A lot of people feel it. You are not alone.
Worry and anxiety is your body's way of signaling danger, and the coronavirus can be a danger to some people. Other signs your body sends you when you're nervous are stomach aches, headaches, or trouble sleeping.
It is absolutely okay to feel scared, and I would strongly encourage you to talk about your feelings.
It's important you talk to your parents or a trusted adult about how you're feeling. They can help you control some of the worry or fear. A few things you can work on together. Create a plan of specific things you can do at school to be safe. Practice wearing your mask for a few hours at a time so you're ready to do it when school starts. Deep breathing and meditation exercises to help calm down if you're anxious while at school. And ask questions. No question is too silly or too scary. Many kids will continue their online learning this year as well, which can also be challenging and confusing.
I just got sick of being in the same room all day.
Not being or seeing with my classmates is very to me it's very worrisome to me.
If we are doing online school, how do we get our exercise?
If you're learning from home, it's important to keep a routine, and that includes exercise and seeing friends, either virtually or socially distanced.
I want kids to know that you're not alone, that you have a support system, that your school is flexible. They want to hear from you. They want to know how you feel. They want to meet you where you're at. If you're struggling, don't be afraid to ask for help.
This year, you may be doing a mix of learning in the classroom and online. It's going to require a lot of flexibility, and it's okay to feel anxious or sad with all the uncertainty. The most important thing is to take care of yourself physically and mentally. That includes exercising, getting plenty of sleep, avoiding screens, especially before bed, eating healthy meals, and having fun. It's important for your health to laugh and play with your friends and family.
I think it's important that there's some times that you're not thinking about the virus. I want you to have fun. I want you to be 10. I want you to be playful. I want you to have a good time.
Teachers, parents, and everyone at your school is doing everything they can to make sure it's safe to go back to school this fall. But don't be afraid to ask any of them questions about what is going on and what the plan is for your school this year.
All right, Dr. Torres with some great advice as always. And parents, if your child has a question or wants to share one of their tips for remote learning, feel free to send a video to us at nightlynewskids@nbcuni.com. We'll try to share some of them with you in an upcoming show. Now we want to turn to an anniversary being marked this week in our country. It's a sad one and happened before many of you were born. And even though it was a very somber day, it did bring the nation together. And it's still bringing Americans together today, including some students in New Jersey. Kids, you may want to grab a parent for this one. There are dates in our nation's history that mark powerful moments that are sad and scary, but moments Americans are not afraid to remember because they are part of our story. And how we deal with struggles, challenges, and tragedies help define who we are, America the brave. You may have learned about some of these dates in school, like Pearl Harbor and September 11th.
I hear stories from my parents and other relatives and friends and teachers about what they were doing, where they are. Like, everyone remembers it because it's such an important moment in our country's history.
9/11 is such an important date because it changed so much of the world that we're living in right now.
This week marks 19 years since the September 11th attacks by terrorists.
But this was a global attack. This affected people around the world. And if you talk to people around the world, everyone who's above a certain age who remembers that day, everyone has a memory. It's just one of those few events in our lives that everyone remembers where they were when they heard what happened.
Back in 2001, nearly 3,000 people died after 4 planes were hijacked and crashed in New York City, at the Pentagon, and Pennsylvania.
And they did that because they wanted to change the way that the United States acted in different countries.
But what happened after September 11th was remarkable. The nation came together in a way the country had not seen perhaps since World War II. And now, 19 years later, high school students in New Jersey are coming together as well to pay their respects.
Whenever I heard a story about where someone was or what was going on in that day, I always tried to put myself in the situation of the person who was telling the story. And I think that really helps you understand what they're saying a little bit more and how impactful it really was.
It's very important to know what happened on 9/11 because it's one of the most important days in our history. So just take the time and just listen to what they have to say.
This is a really somber and sorrowful event, so you just have to be respectful about it and respect and listen to other people's stories that you hear about that.
Although they weren't yet born at the time, these kids still feel a connection.
Just remembering it each year, it's very important to those families who even lost their lives because it was so unexpected.
That's why their school district in Cedar Grove, New Jersey, hosts a week-long 9/11 memorial every year, planting flags to memorialize each victim and teach kids about this day.
When you drive past the school, it's such a nice sight, just knowing that our school, that my school does this. I feel very proud.
Doing a memorial like this is perfect because we can actually see how many people lost their lives and understand more the volume of every single person and how many that there really were and how much of a tragic event that it was.
And it brings us together, and it's a really meaningful representation of every life that was lost.
These students coming together like the nation did, united. All right, now let's switch gears and turn to our photo of the week. I want you to check this one out. This is Bentley Boyers holding his brand new puppy his family adopted from the Jackson County Animal Shelter in Michigan. The 2-year-old boy and his new pup share a special bond. Bentley has undergone surgeries for his cleft lip, and he found his perfect match. His new puppy also has the same birth defect. They're quite cute, aren't they? We're so happy for you, Bentley, and what an adorable puppy. And speaking of sweet, there's a baker in Texas who has become famous for his delicious treats. And get this, kids, he's only 11 years old. Here's Kevin Tibbles with his story.
In Texas City, Texas, there's a famous baker mixing love into every single cake. And he's only 11 years old.
Hey everybody, it's me, your favorite baker, Bubba Crocker.
Logan Cooper is better known as Bubba Crocker, a sweet boy with a sweet tooth and a sweet spot for community service.
I get to see so many happy faces, so many smiles.
That's what Logan loves most about his small business, LNC Sweets. He bakes dozens of cakes a week, sprinkling on a little extra compassion for his neighbors. He's not only making himself proud, but his family too. Logan's grandfather and great-grandfather were also successful bakers, and he's following in their footsteps.
It feels so good to continue their legacy as a third-generation baker.
For the month of September, Logan's pledged to donate all the proceeds from the cupcakes he sells to those affected by COVID-19 to help them buy groceries.
I wanted to make a stand to help those who have been badly impacted. It helps keeps our spirits up, all of us, as well as the community.
Whether it's a cake for a wedding, a fiesta, a birthday party, or a socially distanced back-to-school bash, Logan wants his desserts to help put smiles on people's faces. And he hopes other kids can turn their own passions into something good too. Now that's sweet.
To any of you kids out there who have a dream and they're like, but I have to wait until I'm a lot older to do that dream. You don't have to wait.
All right, Kevin, thank you. And joining us now from Texas is Logan Cooper. Logan, it's great to see you. Your desserts look terrific. I love the story that this is a family legacy, this idea of baking. Was it something that simply came natural to you, or did you talk about it as a family?
It kind of just came natural to me. Well, actually, my bad. I didn't introduce myself. I am Logan Cooper, 11-year-old, aka Bubba Crocker. And thank you so much, Lester Holt, for having me here. It all started when my Aunt Mania would pick me up from school and Mom would have to take me home. And my aunt was making some red velvet cupcakes. And so I wanted to help her, and they came out better than usual. So once when I wanted an Xbox, I was like, hey, I can bake and I'm good at it. How about I try making a business to raise some money?
What is your advice to other kids who want to get into baking? What are some simple things they might want to start with?
I'd say you could try to start with simple recipes like chocolate cake, strawberry cake, or even regular white vanilla.
What is your favorite dessert to make and to eat?
Oh, I've got to say the gooey, melty lava cakes because it is so chocolatey and melty on the inside, hence why it's called lava cake, because it's as gooey as lava.
Well, you had me at chocolate. Logan Cooper, it's really great what you're doing. I'm really excited that you have really found your passion. Keep cooking, and thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. And for everyone watching this, stay home, stay safe, stay healthy.
Logan, thanks so much. Well, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Nightly News Kids Edition. Hope you take care of yourself and each other.